Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Aset here at the Goddess Inside, and today we are going to be discussing the goddess Sekhmet and the power of Sekhem. And I have a few book recommendations for you if you are wanting to connect more and learn more about the goddess Sekhmet. The goddess Sekhmet is a very powerful goddess. Her name, in and of itself, means the powerful one. And in working with this element of power is something that is known as the Sekhem. And so we're going to talk a little bit about how to work with Sekhmet, how to incorporate this Sekhem into your own life today. One of the first things I want to talk about is who is Sekhmet. As I said, she's a lioness goddess, and she is known for chaos and destruction. She's also very nurturing, protective, and a creator goddess. There's a big mothering aspect to her. And so, just as all of us have different sides of ourself, so does Sekhmet. In ancient times, Sekhmet was used to keep away pestilence or peril, chaos, destruction, plagues, and this sort of thing. And there was a pharaoh, Amenhotep III, who created or had commissioned many statues, hundreds of statues, 700, 800 statues of the goddess Sekhmet. And this was to provide protection for every day of the year, to provide protection for every night of the year, and a few extras for good measure. Many of her statues that they found, commissioned by Amenhotep III, were discovered at the Temple of Mut in the Karnak area. And if you visit there today, you'll see many statues of her that are remaining, and some of the statues from this temple area are found in museums around the world. So be sure when you visit a museum and you see a statue of Sekhmet, you look at the plaque and see where it came from, because in museums you'll oftentimes find information about the artifact, the time period, the location that it was found, who it was donated by or on loan from, these sorts of things. The priests and priestesses of Sekhmet were physicians and healers. And this is kind of an interesting concept because she was the goddess of pestilence. So it's interesting that in order for the physicians to know how to heal you, they worked with her. And who better to work with than the one who brings it, because she would know all of the answers. When we work with Sekhmet and this aspect of her power and the aspect of her healing, we can work with the Sekhem, this element of power. The breath is one of the ways to work with Sekhmet and connect with this Sekhem within yourself. And if you can work with your breath in many different ways. You can just mindfully notice how you're breathing. You can mindfully breathe in and with intention, pulling in the fiery breath and the power of Sekhmet herself, and feeling this within your solar plexus chakra and emanating from there into all of the rest of your chakras and throughout your being and your body. Another way that you can work with your breath is in the Kundalini practice of yoga. There is a breathing technique where you breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. And with each exhale, you use your belly muscles and you forcefully contract them to push the breath out quickly. And you can do this in succession so that your breathing is rapid and you're pushing the breath out with your belly. What this can do is this can activate your solar plexus area down in your stomach. And so this way you can work a little bit more conscientiously or mindfully with your breath, with Sekhem, with Sekhmet, and powering up your own solar center, your own center of your will and confidence. With this element also of breathing techniques, you can begin to just slowly breathe into your solar plexus and breathe out. And as you do that, moving your belly muscles out and in, and kind of pushing them out and letting them expand, and then pulling them in and contracting them. So you can either do this rapidly, or you can do it mindfully and slowly. Or you can just simply notice how you're breathing. And as you're breathing, mindfully call in the presence of Sekhmet. So if you do this practice, I would love to hear some of your experiences with that. So be sure to leave me a comment. Another way that you can work with the power of Sekhmet as a healing goddess is to, even if you haven't had any Reiki training or energy training, just the laying on of your own hands to your body, an area of pain or some place where you feel that you have an energy blockage, and mindfully breathing into that area using the visualization of Sekhmet behind you and her hands on top of your hands on that area to alleviate pain or to move blockages of energy through your body. So these are two of the ways that you can begin to physically work with Sekhmet, with your breath, and for healing of yourself. Another thing that I wanted to share with you was this power of Sekhem is a part of our own vitality, our power. And if you can begin to work with your solar plexus and mindfully clearing it, mindfully and intentionally balancing this area through the power of the breath and your intention, this will then move out into the rest of your life and the way that you approach each and every day. You will find that you will have more confidence, that you will find that you will be able to speak up for yourself and share your thoughts or your opinions on things when you feel like it's appropriate to do so. This element of speaking up for yourself. So I want to talk a little bit about that too. So the Sekhem and the power that you place within your solar plexus can then move up into your throat chakra. And again, here's where you want to balance everything out. Rather than opening up your chakras, make sure that you mindfully balance them, because when you open them, you can forget to close them down an appropriate way, and then your chakra can then begin to express itself in a imbalanced way in your life. So then if you empower your solar plexus with Sekhem and it goes up into your throat, as I said, as it's emanating all throughout your chakras and your being, you might just begin to have no boundaries when you talk and have absolutely no filter. And with this no filter part, then we have to think about our third eye and our intuition and our crown chakra and our wisdom. So everything needs to be in alignment so that when you speak, it's meaningful. You speak with purpose, and you share with intention. So knowing how to incorporate this Sekhem and allowing it to work through your chakra system in order to balance everything rather than opening it is another really good way to work with this power of Sekhem and the goddess Sekhmet. And now I want to share with you a few books that I recommend if you are wanting to work with Sekhmet. And I don't know if these are going to show up backwards in the recording, so I apologize if they do. The first one is The Daughter of the Sun, and this is a collection of It's an anthology, and there's a collection of stories from people all around the world who have had experiences with the goddess Sekhmet. And there's hymns of devotion and invocation and things like that, and stories and experiences that I think that you'll really enjoy. Another book in a similar way is this book, Heart of the Sun. And it also has kind of the same thing. It's an anthology of different people's experiences with the goddess Sekhmet. The reason that I suggest or recommend anthologies is because these kinds of stories and things can help you to understand or to realize that maybe some of the experiences that you've had with the goddess Sekhmet or any of the Neteru, it kind of normalizes that and lets you know that you're not alone in having these types of experiences. Another book that I recommend is Sekhmet Rising. And this not only has a lot of the same things that I just talked about, there are also some recipes in here that you can use to pull in the vitality of Sekhmet through your diet. And there are some rituals in here. And so I think that any of these three books, I'm not an affiliate of any of them. They're just some that are in my library that I have enjoyed, that I think that you might enjoy as well. So I hope that you have enjoyed learning a little bit more about ways in which to work with the goddess Sekhmet. In Patreon this month, if you're watching it during the month of July, we are focusing on the goddess Sekhmet. So there's a PDF for you. There are some other optional explorations, meditation that you can listen to and download to use and connect with the goddess Sekhmet and the power of the Sekhem. And there will also be audio lessons and a video presentation of the texts that we are studying. So be sure to check out the Patreon and come and join. So thank you so much for being here with me today. Thank you for subscribing. If you do, if you don't, please do. Be sure to get on my email list so that you can know when all of the things are happening, so that you can learn more and experience the power and the magic of ancient Egypt in your everyday life. And until next time, as I always like to say, may you enjoy everything about today.